Hey, welcome back to The Reset. I'm Sean Tucker, your host, and today we're going to talk about why, even though you sleep 7 to 9 hours a night, you still feel tired when you wake up, and throughout the day, your energy just crashes. Why is this? You're getting the prescripted amount of sleep, yet you're still tired. You're probably relying on caffeine and stimulants to keep yourself awake throughout the day. And what this is doing to your energy throughout the day is it's keeping it at its end. You can only use caffeine and stimulants for so long before, you hit a peak. And this is what I really like about the minimum effective dose principle. And yes, sometimes it is learned and measured and reflected on, and sometimes you go a little bit overboard and you really test yourself, and sometimes you do it wrong. Like, you have to make mistakes to understand which works for you. But when it comes to managing your energy throughout the day, the reason you feel so tired is not because of your lack of sleep. It's because of the lack of the depth and the quality of your rest. And that is totally different to quantity of sleep. Because in the day, you could be resting, you could be restful, but still very intense with your energy. See, this is the difference between someone who is really highly strung and someone who is just very vibrant and intense with their energy. Because those who are really highly strung tend to, let's just say, use caffeine and stimulants to bring them up to that point where they're on the edge. They might feel a bit more anxious. And I know in my past and lived experience, this has been the case. I wasn't well rested or restful in my way of being, which actually prevented me from accessing quality, deep rest. Because when you go to bed, when you have a nap, when you meditate, this is all times where you can practice getting this deep rest. And this is what I love about breath work. This is what I love about having supportive people and supportive environments around you. Because the more that environment is conducive for your well-being, the more you can get quality rest. And it's not about comfort. It's actually got nothing to do with comfort. Comfort is usually something that breeds just low standards. And if you've ever sat on a comfortable chair, it's only after some time you have to adjust your posture to find another comfortable position. So it's interesting that we are living in this comfort-driven society, yet people are needing more and more rest because they're waking up feeling tired. They're waking up feeling like they have no energy. And there are other reasons why this is happening, at physiological, biochemical, also psychological reasons for this. But pretty simply, if you look at it from a pure energy standpoint, you're either vibrant or you're not. And if you're not vibrant, there's probably many reasons why. But one of the keys I like to show with the people that I work with is look at the environment you're in. Are you relying on things like quick fix sugars and caffeine and nicotine in many cases as well, and alcohol, to regulate your nervous system? Because that's what it comes back down to. It's as simple as managing your nervous system, managing threats, managing stress. That's really what it comes down to. But If you're a manager of your stress, that makes me stressed. Being a manager of a team is stressful because you're managing emotions, you're managing team camaraderie, you're managing the culture, you're managing KPIs, you're measuring so many things. And it takes a lot of awareness and responsibility and accountability to hold people to their standard. But that's not really leadership. Leadership and management are same, but different. When someone walks in and they are a leader, they don't consciously say and tell you to get to their level. They just do the best that they can do. And something inside you is inspired to do and rise yourself to that standard as well. So it happens at a deep unconscious level, which is fascinating because those who do the most uncomfortable things are usually the most inspiring people. And it's not to please others. Usually it's not to please others. It's because they're working on themselves. They're working with their mind or their mindset. There's probably different reasons why. But in simple terms, those really inspiring characters you might have in your life, they usually have a really, really strong work ethic. Like the job's not done until it's done. The work doesn't finish until the job's done. And being around that energy, you'll probably find if it is a physical, laborious job that they have, you'll probably find that they can sleep really well. They can sleep and get the deep rest that's needed for their body to replenish and recover really simply and really easily. Whereas someone who might be more highly strung and their nervous system is stuck in that kind of fight or flight survival strategy or stance or state, then it's going to be really hard for them to access slower states, slower brainwave states, and more active recovery or more recovery states of the body. So there's a fascinating book called Sleep by Matthew Walker. And if you haven't read it, I certainly suggest you at least hear the cliff notes on it, because it explains exactly what each sleep state will do and how much sleep is not required, but recommended based on different factors. And someone who I listen to, Sadhguru, he also says something similar, that it's not about the length of your sleep that's important, it's the quality of your sleep. Having your energy being very vibrant and sleeping 3-4 hours a night and still getting the work amount of maybe 4 or 5 people for one person in the day done, completed. That is what it is to be alive. If you're sleeping 8-9 hours, maybe longer, and still waking up tired, maybe it's time to take an audit of what you're putting yourself into. What is being put into your body, what you're carrying your body through into different environments, what you're consuming on your phone, what you're consuming on the TV, on the internet, who are the people around you. But just start taking note. What are you consuming? All of these things will factor in how much sleep you actually need, or how much you need to feel asleep to get through your day. And when I'm talking about being asleep, I'm actually talking about being relatively unconscious, doing things on autopilot, which to me is not really living. that to me is really just surviving. Anyways, that brings me to the end of today's show. If you have found this episode helpful, please just share it with one friend. That's it, just one friend. And if they find it valuable, same thing. Share it with one person. Anyways, have a beautiful day, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode.